everyone, welcome back. I'm going to talk to you today about how to make your book longer than it really is. And this is for anyone that is an inspiring writer, looking to publish your first book, a seasoned writer, but haven't published your first book yet. Do you fear you don't have enough content to write your book? There are instances where the length of the book, real or fiction, may be psychologically appealing to a reader. Just remember, while quality content should always be a priority, there are ethical and creative strategies to help make your book appear longer without compromising the integrity. And this is how you can do it. And these are just really simple things that many of us forget about. It's not one of those things where it would really take away from the integrity of the book. It absolutely does not. So when you think about it, simple adjustments of the margins and the line spacing. Changing the margins and spacing between the lines is very inexpensive yet powerful way to increase the number of pages. Wider margins, the more white space you have on the page, the more pages your text will take. And then there's line spacing. Adding 1.5 or double spacing in the line spacing makes your print more open and easy to read and adds more pages. Then when you think about it, larger fonts. The size of the font directly influences the length of the page. Using small but readable fonts like 12 to 14 font is readable, but if you're going for more words per page, is it worth the wait? You can change this to Georgia or Arial, just depending on what font you're looking to use. And then there's chapter headings and subheadings. Create them in large spaces to give more coverage and not to really overwhelm or encumber the reader. Number 3, incorporate visual elements. Depending on the book and what you're writing, by including visual elements, you can make your book stand out while increasing the number of pages. And then you can add illustrations and photos such as images, charts, or graphs. And this really has to do with your content. So don't just put a picture in there or a graph or a chart if it has nothing to do with your book, because you're not only going to be wasting space, you're going to lose your readers. So when you add something that's an illustration or photo, please make sure that it goes with the content for an effective, and it also gives a really nice visual breakpoint. This is where you can also pull quotes or call outs, right? You could add quotes to your chapter. You highlight key points or ideas in a box with large text, and they attract attention while occupying space. And we've seen all of that done in different types of textbooks, whether it's in college, high school, depending on what your book that you're writing about. You see the text box on the right-hand side where they do a call out and something specific that they want you to remember. Number 4, break up your chapters. You don't have to have long chapters. You can break it out. You can break down the material into smaller chapters. More chapters, fewer words per chapter. It really looks deeper and makes the look of the book appear more full. Exciting chapter headers, right? Give your book those chapter titles. Full pages, for the chapters with a blank page at the end of each chapter. This really allows for breathing room. Again, adds more pages. And then number 5, utilize the front and the back matter. And what does that really mean? The front and back covers are great spaces to make your book seem longer. So in the front, you can write an introduction, an acknowledgement, as well as a table of contents. And you can even go ahead and put in a dedication page. And then in the back matter, sometimes people add appendices, glossaries, notes, and an index about professional flair, or even about their page count. Number 6, choose a smaller trim size. So this depends on how big your book is physically. You can reduce the trim size. The smaller the book size, the fewer words per page. So there needs to be more pages for the same message. So take, for example, you choose a 8.5 by 11 book. Well, if it's not as thick, you could actually make it smaller and go to the standard 6 by 9, and it'll be the same word count, but just more pages. Then you could, number 7, adding engaging features. This is where you enhance the reader's experience and give your book weight. You can do questions, exercise for reflection. It is if it's a nonfiction book, you can ask or do some exercises at the conclusion of each chapter. This is just to keep things going and to increase the length, right? So say it's a self-help book, you can ask those probing questions or give someone some tips at the end and give them an exercise that they can do. Then you could also think about case studies. There are some short stories, case studies, or testimonials that can be great to include within the without much effort, right? Because you're sharing someone else's opinion, and you can put that in there as well. Number 8, and the last one, is focusing on formatting. Formatting from an expert can go a long way. Headers and footers, this is where you place your chapter titles, your book titles, or page numbers in those headers and footers. And then indent the paragraph using the regular paragraph indentation instead of block paragraphs can add to the space, making your book look longer. So while implementing these tips and tricks, ensure that your writing is useful to the readers. Readers will become frustrated if they find themselves lost in a sea of fluff. No one wants just fluffy words or unnecessary visuals. So if you add too much fluff or too much visuals, it really could hurt your credibility. So always look to create value when you're using these strategies. You can make a book that appears longer and fuller without compromising using these methods. And you don't want to compromise the quality. So these are just tools that let you keep up with the marketplace and make your book stand out. You may be crafting a nonfiction encyclopedia or the next great novel, but remember, quality over form. Substance is the foundation. Form is merely the frame. And I leave you with this. True impact lies in the depth of your message, not the length of your presentation. With that being said, have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you later. Aloha.